What's up and welcome back. Today we're talking about passive mode finally coming to Red Dead Online. I'm Bandit Barney, bringing you everything you need to know about Red Dead 2 and Red Dead Online. Passive mode has been something really honestly like one of the most asked for things for Rockstar to add to Red Dead Online since its release. It was so asked for, and initially Rockstar's first response was to add in this bounty system. Now we've come to all see that bounty system is having flaws, but Rockstar has announced a ton of things today that they're going to release later in spring that is going to come to Red Dead Online. And one of those is a hostility system and a defense system, all built around and supposed to help the players who want that passive mode. Now, before you get too knotted up in a bunch, or you just get super excited about a passive mode coming, don't worry. For those of you that don't agree with having a passive mode in online, this isn't a full-on passive mode that's going to take certain players out of servers and put them in their own server without 16 players or something like that, and it'd just be them and their friends. This is not what that is, okay? And for those of us that want the passive mode and kind of wanted that, don't worry at the same time, because this isn't the bounty system that's just been introduced that doesn't really help us at all. In fact, Rockstar's looked at what's happened recently and they're making a ton of changes to that. Let's dive into first the hostility system regarding that. So this hostility system is going to be something that's supposed to help with the bounty system already current in place, which is, and we've all come to see this as an issue with the bounty system. If a player who doesn't care about having a bounty comes to fight you, you don't have a great defense, because if you defend yourself, you're going to gain a bounty, and that kind of defeats the purpose of having a bounty system in place if you either have to just back down and let players beat you up, or if you're just going to get a bounty regardless of how you play, because there are certain players that are going to grieve. So this system makes it so that if a player shoots you, they're marked as an enemy. And when you fire at an enemy or shoot an enemy, you do not gain a bounty. So this is really cool, and it kind of goes to what Rockstar has announced with this overall direction. And I'll actually read it word for word from them. Our experience of building other online worlds has helped us create a more evolved foundation for open spaces of Red Dead Online. But the world of Red Dead Online will evolve in its own unique direction. One in which players will have greater freedom to customize their playstyle uniquely over time, allowing them to sink into the world and their character and feel more connected to the experience of living as cowboys, outlaws, and gunslingers in the wilds of the 19th century America. So this is something that, I've kind of spoken on a little bit, but really the only counter to why a passive mode wasn't introduced into online was like Rockstar wants to keep the immersion of this world. It's nice though that we're seeing the immersion stay, and Rockstar's looking at certain ways to make it so that it's not too griefy, right? And really like allow players to live in this world together, but at the same time put a system in place that keeps it like some sort of law and order, because obviously it being a game, you're not going to have the same law and order that you would in real life, because in real life, when someone dies, they're dead. But it being a game, finding a way to keep all the players in the same world, maintaining that immersion, while at the same time not allowing it to go too far in a direction of a few players being able to dominate lobbies completely. So this is really cool. And this is just one step that they're making in the direction of working around these issues that we've seen in the new bounty system. Another big step that they're making is an offensive and a defensive play style. So you can decide whether you're going to be an offensive play style or a defensive play style. Essentially, an offensive play style is going to be pretty much exactly what we have right now. It's the default when you load into Red Dead Online. But a defensive play style is going to make it so that you cannot be lassoed by other players, as well as other players won't have auto lock on you. They won't be able to auto lock with you. You'll be a free aim target for other players. Now, at the same time, you're going to have free aim target to other players, so it's not something that you're going to have an advantage over having a defensive playstyle. Although one thing they note here is that if you're in a defensive playstyle, although you can't be lassoed, you are going to be able to lasso other players, but this will essentially function as a switch and flip you right into an offensive playstyle, as well as incurring a larger than normal bounty for this action, because you're kind of taking advantage of not having auto lock on you and kind of going in there and almost in camouflage by having defensive playstyle. So these are things that Rockstar is going to bring to us in the spring, and I gotta say, It's really, really nice as a member of this community to see Rockstar address some of these big issues that they've had with their most recent update. Another thing being that they're going to adjust the free roam activities, the daily challenges, so that they're not as geared towards fighting other players. I felt like, you know, you release the bounty system and at the same time have daily challenges that force you to hunt other players. It kind of works against each other in that regard, and they're going to be working on that. So really what I see here is almost every single area where, you know, there's been an issue with the newest bounty system being introduced in the daily challenges, Rockstar's come out and addressed them. Now, this isn't something where we have the update right now. It's something that we're going to be expecting in spring. So that could be, you know, 2-3 months out. Probably 2 months out is what we're looking at in regards to getting this stuff. But still really, really good news for us as players, seeing that Rockstar's getting a lot of these things squared away and getting a really, really good foundation. It goes along with what they're saying here is that they're going to be building Red Dead Online out, and they almost hint at the online experience being something that's going to take a while for the foundation to get put in place, but ultimately is going to be filled with, you know, different activities and things, and have you so many options as far as how you want to play and have your experience being Red Dead Online. It will give you that opportunity, whether you want that to be PvP, PvE, however you want that to be. Red Dead Online in the future is going to have a great experience for you on there. And not that I didn't believe in Rockstar, but it is nice. It feels like this is one thing where they've actually come out and just like addressed a lot of the issues that this most recent update has had. I don't know if it's because there was so much bad publicity and feelings behind this last update, or whether it's because, you know, Rockstar is just starting to hit their stride with what's going on. But it's awesome to see them. This is now the second time they've come out and told us ahead of time what we can be expecting in the next big update. I do hope that this update goes over smoother than the last one, because the last one just didn't go over so smoothly. Let's jump into some things that we're actually getting today, and that is fishing challenges have now come in to free roam in Red Dead Online, so we can go ahead and jump in and do those, as well as Rockstar is going to give us a 30% XP boost on hunting, and we're getting a fishing care package if we're playing this week. Then they go on and give a quick roadmap to what we're going to be getting next, which March 26th we're getting target races, April 2nd up in smoke, and then April 9th we're getting plunder. I'm just going to retouch on this. I think that drip feeding this content was a little bit misleading, although I do think it was the right way to go now looking at it, because it doesn't, if we got all this stuff in one day, by now it would feel old and the game would be even more stale than it is. So I think it's the right way to go. I hope that Rockstar is more open with us on what we're going to be getting in this next update at what time, so that if we're not getting, you know, for example, if we're going to have the offensive and defensive playstyle come after the hostility system, I'd like for Rockstar to be more open about that and let us know that you can expect this here, and yada yada yada, you know, so on and so forward. It'd be nice to just know what we're getting there. Along with what just dropped today, another thing that they announced in the future is something that I've really wanted and think that Red Dead Online has desperately needed. They're adding to a Land of Opportunities missions. So we're finally going to get some more story mode content from the online side of the game, which Rockstar builds stories so well. They do stories like better than almost anybody that I can think of, and the story of Red Dead 2 is what has made this game so popular. So I can't wait to actually see some more story missions in that regard. One of my favorite parts of the online is being able to get more of that story that we had in the story. That was kind of weird to say, but more of those missions that we had in the story in online is one of my favorite parts. So I can't wait to get more of that. They're going to be coming out with more free roam missions, which I think is something that helps with the immersion of the game. Just adding into, you can go to this part of the world and go do that. Great stuff. And they're going to introduce dynamic events. So fighting off ambushes, initiating rescues, defending folks. So things that we've had in the actual campaign or story of Red Dead Redemption 2, bringing that to online. And that is one of the things that really added to the immersion of Red Dead 2. You could be riding your horse and someone says, wow, what a nice horse you have, let's race. Or you're riding your horse, someone's gotten bit by a snake, it needs some heals. Or, you know, even adding to the ambushes that are already in the game. I don't know exactly how they're going to do that, but adding to that would be really, really cool. Along with that, we're also going to be getting the LeMat revolver from the original Red Dead. That's going to be awesome. I'm a big fan of the Evans repeater. I'm sure I'm going to like this revolver as well. All in all, this update that they're announcing that's going to come in the future looks like it's really adding a lot of quality to the game. I think though, like a big saving point right here, at least for me in my opinion, is that they're going to be adding more to the missions of Red Dead. I also think that adding these dynamic events is going to be huge, because I think that's something where the immersion of online just isn't quite like the immersion of the story. And I think that by adding dynamic events and getting more of these missions in place, that's really going to help build the storyline of the online mode. So I'm really, really looking forward to those things. I'm super, super stoked for this new update. Let me know how you guys feel down below. If you have anything that you think one of these, you know, maybe the offensive defensive mode or the hostility system is going in the wrong direction, let me know down below. Thank you for stopping by, and until next time, take care.